Hello, my name's Phill Vidler and I am a singer-songwriter living in London. You know that, probably. If you don't, now you do. I thought I'd make a little behind the scenes about the recording and mixing process of my new album, This Too Shall Pass, coming out on the 25th of September. Very excited. It's been 5 years in the making because I've recorded, this is the third time I've recorded this album. So if you don't back up your stuff, kids, chances are you're going to lose an album twice, having recorded it twice. Trust me, I've got copious backups now. Never making that mistake again. So this is my studio. It is also my bedroom. So it's definitely where the magic happens. I'm so alone. But basically, I started recording myself. Oh, that sounds a bit wrong. I started recording my own music on my own way back in probably about 2007. I used to record videos on YouTube and I started recording using my webcam mic and like layering things, learning how to do it on Audacity, which is a program that's very basic for audio recording. And over the years, I've built this setup. I've got all of this equipment, mostly secondhand. I mean, my speakers I bought outright, my microphone, an Avantone CV12, which is a gorgeous microphone. Same mic that Taylor Swift uses, actually. I bought that outright as well. But a lot of the stuff that I've had is either secondhand or like hand-me-downs from other friends who've done recording who, you know, they've upgraded and don't need the stuff anymore. My interface, which is a Focusrite Scala 18i20, bought that off of my drummer friend Robin, who drummed on the album. My bass, which is called Squid, I kind of nicked it. Right, I'll tell you why. I was moving out of a flat and my friend James, who's been a member of my band before, he just had a bass lying around that was one of his mates, but the mate never really spoke about it, and so I was like, can I borrow it? Indefinitely. And I've now just got a bass. If they ever want it back, ask. I will give it back. I've not nicked it. But yeah, I've got a bass now, which is nice. My point is that I don't have a professional setup. Like, this is not by any means the sort of level of kit that you would find in a professional recording studio. But over the last 6 years, where I've been taking it seriously, you know, I've been building my kit and doing my best to do little incremental upgrades here and there just to make the recording quality just that little bit better and sharper. There's a fly in my room. I used a number of guitars on this album. The main one that I've been using is my Epiphone Dot. Her name is Betty, because, you know, it looks a bit like Betty Boop. Also used my Tanglewood Nashville 3. This is Rose. This is basically an extension of my arm, this guitar. I used this guitar. This is actually my flatmate's guitar, but it's got a kind of different chimey quality to it, I think. I only used it on one track, which it wasn't working on Rose for some reason, so I used it on that track and it sounds great. I've already mentioned the bass, which is called Squid, named as such because there is I don't know if you can see that, there is a squid sharpied on the back. And the last guitar I used on this record was this one, which is a 1980s Hondo 2 guitar. It's so dusty. This was actually my dad's. My dad died before I was born. I inherited some stuff, including this guitar. I've tried doing it up. It's very old and broken, doesn't really work. But what it does work for is very like ambient, warm sounds. So I used it on the opening track, Brittle Soul, and it's that ringy sound that worked only on this guitar. I also used my Fender banjo, Levi. It's that a tune? But I used this for recording the songs that have banjo, obviously. I didn't use it as a mandolin. I've got one up there. And then for the song that has ukulele, I'll just use my Mahalo one. Like, this is... It's lovely. I love this thing. I mean, I've got a fancier one. This is a Kala electro-acoustic ukulele that I bought recently. But it's just a different sound. Like, don't know if it's because I've had this one for 10 years now and it's sort of lived a bit. Like this one is pretty brand new, like I've only had it for about a month and a half. This is called Noah. This is called Yukita, after my old flatmate Nikita, who moved out and went travelling a month or two ago, just in honour of her memory. She's not dead, I think. I might check on that. And I've got a 88 key MIDI piano, which is a bit hefty to grab, but it's behind the camera. It's over there. Trust me on that. It is over there to do all of the synth parts and the piano parts. Like I did play live piano for this. It's not live piano, it's sampled piano, but it is a piano being played. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense? I don't know. It's Phill from the future. I realised I didn't mention that I play melodica on this album as well, on the song that you're listening to right now called The Room. So along with everything that I recorded here, I also got drums recorded by Robin Howe over at Boxley Road Studios down in Kent, and I got live strings recorded by Paraxa Studios, Matt Norris on violin 1, Laurie Norris on violin 2 and viola, and Sophia Ramnarine on cello, and oh, so good. So I'm an absolute idiot and deleted the take where I'd mentioned my friends who sing backing vocals on the album. So Erin Williamson sings backing vocals on The Low, and Beatrice King and Gavin McIntyre sing backing on a number of tracks throughout the album. They're lovely. I'm still an idiot. Carry on, Phill. Basically, everything has been put together in this room, the room, if you like. That's a joke about track 3 on the album called The Room. I have always been a big supporter of indie music, and indie music I don't mean, oh, I'm the 1975, I'm going to play some jangly chords on a guitar, which is what I do in my other project. But what I mean is recording yourself because you have to. Nothing against the people who've actually done this, but I've never been the kind of person who can, you know, take 3 songs, go into a studio for a day and record just at a better quality, just me and guitar. Like, that's not how I work. Like, I write and I produce at the same time. Like, I will have an idea and it will just flow into this big old project. And that's the songwriting process for me. It's never really just me and a guitar sat there on my bed and then I start recording it later. Like, I'm recording as I'm writing, which makes it a lot easier to actually get albums done, because I'm already forming what the big sound of the album is going to be when I'm writing the song, and I can figure out very quickly if I'm starting to write a song whether it's going to fit or not, and I'm just like, well, just leave that in the side. I've got so many idea folders on here. I'm pointing on my laptop. But I think the only reason that I've managed to get where I am and, you know, be the songwriter that I am today is the fact that I've been recording myself now for 13 years and I'm only 26, and, you know, half my life I've been recording myself. And I'm not saying that I'm better than anyone for doing so, but I've learned what works for me and what doesn't work for me by doing that. So, you know, if you are a songwriter and you want to, you know, save up your money and go into an expensive studio for a day, absolutely do it. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. I'm not bemoaning you. What I would recommend doing though is just, if you haven't already, just try recording yourself. Just open up GarageBand or Audacity or something like that and just record yourself playing music and layer some stuff on top, because the education that you'll get from it is so much more than you'll get from going into a recording studio for a day. You know, if you're recording, I've been recording for 13 years. I've never been in a professional recording studio. And you know what? If you want to release your stuff on iTunes and you want to, and you don't have a record label, message me. I'll help you out, because it's very easy. It's a very simple process. I will help you out. Personally message me and I will help you. I'm really, really proud of this album. As I say, it's been 5 years in the making, and there's been a lot of upheaval throughout the last 5 years, just in my life, let alone doing this album. I really, really hope that you enjoy it. And I hope that you enjoyed this, whatever this was. I don't actually know what this is, but listen to my album on the 25th of September, 2020, if you want to. If you don't, and you think I'm a twat, it's fine. I pretty much am. Good marketing, Phill.